Hello, and this is the crypto day morning. Today's date, Tuesday, 4th of September 2018, in that of a Tuesday, and it's pretty much the start of the week with yesterday being Labor Day. And kids back to school, fun times. Like always, trades, bets, and of the like, always within your own risk, own reward. It's good to understand the risk versus the reward. For example, it's risky for you to take your hand on an oven that's turned on, but what's the reward to it? Sometimes there's just no reward for your risks. So the risks and rewards are definitely going to outweigh each other, and you want to make sure, in my opinion, that the rewards definitely outweigh the risks in any type of trades and such that is made. Alrighty. So within this first day on the 3-day time frame, price action, after getting up to the 18 average of highs and spending a couple periods after the move, one just going, just hanging in there, I guess is a way of putting it, as it had a small retracement down to close to the 18 of closes. You can't see that, but in the middle or such is around the closes. And then the period breaking past that level. And today's session, although difficult to see, it's at the highest point, or it's higher than the previous period. On the daily term time frame, the uptrend, it's simple. It's this trend right now. Prices now, since the break in here, have had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 consecutive days where it has pretty much remained entirely over the 18 of highs. I mean, briefly on that day heading below it, but nice sustained bull market over the last couple of weeks. And with today's date being the 4th, that means we're back to levels not seen since the 4th of August. So we're back to 1 month where we were 1 month ago. On the 3-hour time frame, price action has been in a nice bull run since the bottom, at least for this entire point. The only action below the 18 would be arriving there. And what we can see is that this level of resistance that it's most recently been entangling with, after a successful, what looks like that of a successful correction via that of time, well, it's now made a break to the upside, and it's just barely breaking above it as of now. Let's take a look at this at a more shorter term time frame. And the single hour will show us that it had very good support several of occasions in at the 18 average of lows, oftentimes even piercing below such. I'm going to take a look at this next at the 15 as we see it breaking just now past the level of resistance. I'm going to draw that line in looking at the 15-minute chart. And within such, I'm going to put in what the original level of support was. Right there, which was hit quite often. I mean, this time here, pierce above several times, hitting within it, hitting it exactly here, piercing above in here, and then before the breakout, one little bit of resistance before finally going to the 18 and then off to the races. But it also did make this high, so I'm going to put another line in. There we have it, which was twice hit and almost a third time on the 6 p.m. Eastern, or 1800 hours timestamp from yesterday. Alrighty then. So those are the key lines. It obviously has had a very nice break above these two key resistance points. But interestingly, when we take a look at this on a single minute time frame, that it really got going with a fast move within 2 periods, 2 minutes. So less than 120 seconds. It could have been as low as 5. And I don't know, I didn't see it. But that at 8:03 a.m. Eastern time and into 8:04, the price action went from 73.45 up to 74.11. That's only 1% when it comes down to it. It has successfully corrected through time, putting short term, at least for 1 minute time frame, a level of support in at 73.62 and a level of resistance Well, you guess you can do the same thing. Two lines, one at 73.91, one again at the 74.12. But this is all short-term stuff. And Bitcoin starting the day off with a small rally of a break of resistance. And thus, it should be in good shape moving in the next few hours. Let's take a look at Komodo, but I'm really not going to talk about the coin per se, but talk about arbitrage and talk about understanding the order book. And this is the 15-minute time frame using Komodo. And this, what's going on now? This is just epic, this sideways rage that has been going on now since, well, before I went to bed. I woke up without a buy or a sell order, and I'm thinking, hey man, I'm playing really short term on this, like a 1.5% move in either direction, well, 2%. I'm looking to buy and sell kind of deal. Well, maybe not quite that tight, but nonetheless, we're going to talk about the arbitrage. The rally occurred in here at 12:30, and it topped. The time is important here. 16:15. That's 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time. The high was 22.5. Let's take a look at the Komodo from the Arbitrage exchange. So 16:15 was the top here. And if we go to 16:15, the price at that time was rallying up to 21,000. Oh, I wish I would have noticed that then. I really, really do. Now, I was able, what was going on was I had this market on TradingView I was looking at, and I noticed, hey, wait a second. This one was saying like 21,000 when the price was trading for 22,000 on Binance. And it was 21.8, 21.9, but closer to 22 when the other one was right at the low 20s or 21s. But a 5% differential in price at the time. And what I did was I first checked the wallets to make sure that they were not offline. They were fine. They were not suspended. So I sold a lot of my position on Binance. And then, well, first I bought that at about 2.5% more on Arbitrage. Then I sold it on Binance and then moved it over to Binance, the Komodos within that example. So there's always going to be times, they're going to happen mainly during the rallies and sell-offs, but it is showing that Arbitrage is not as big as they once were. How much of that is to do with the rake? It's higher, 0.25%. Now, as far as order books are concerned, I want to talk about that next within the exact same market as I noticed last night on the Binance exchange. And it would have been, it was last night, so it would have been around in here, that there was the largest buy order for an altcoin anyway, at least of this smaller volatility. This is what the order book for the buys was when the bid was 21.19 and the ask was 21.29. And it's 7 digits here, so it was not 2,000 Satoshi, it's 20,000. They just do not have that last zero, so be it. But at 21,000 even, there was a buy order for about 400,000 of them, or that of 82 Bitcoin. That's quite a bit, 82 Bitcoin, when you consider 7,000 for one. That would be 70,000 for 10, 700,000 plus for 100. So you're talking about over a $500,000 buy order. And this buy order lasted for hours. Hours it lasted for. If we look at what this low was, it was, should say 21,000. It really should. Why it says 2101, I don't know. Because there was the microscopic of amounts that was taken off of it, actually. So I think it's a 1-digit data error. The low was 2100. At least that's what I noticed yesterday, that barely anything, maybe like a few $100s worth was sold to that number. So what does that mean? And for me, one thing that it means is a safety point for the fact that 21,000 price should not break down below it. And of course, that was exactly the case. Because there's to sell over $500,000 worth to break up that number. Well, on Bittrex, the price can't go much below 22,000, because if you see numbers at, like, say, 21,100 to buy from, or 20,100 rather. Oh, so I can buy for 20,000 and sell for 21. A bunch of people would pick away at such an order that it would exhaust itself through time. Now, I have seen that with Litecoin before, where there was a massively large order with Litecoin in that same similar situation. And I was one of many people that did pick away at an arbitrage situation there. That was months ago. But for this case, that's one thing that it means. Another thing that it means is a major decline. How so? Well, if there's a big game player that has well more than the 400,000, then you could be thinking, hey, wait a second, I can sell 393,000 of them at 2,100, and now it's only going to cost me how much to bring the price down to 1,900 or 1,800? And that's what people would do when they can say, okay, that's a situation where they can get out of that. But that makes it very difficult, because when you get it down to 18, how are you going to buy back? So many, well, I'm sure that a lot of them have strategies, but it definitely introduces anyone with big levels on the other side. That sends a message to them. And sometimes they will take advantage towards that such. And that will conclude the video for today. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.